I'm sure you'll be very interested to.
Well, yeah, there are many.
Sure, you'll be very interested to discuss
Yes.
this. And why people think that you're one race when you're another. The differences between Latino, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, and Mexican. Many people think that they're all the same, but tis a fool who thinks that.
Yes, there is.
There is a very significant difference. That is coming up next here on Late Night with Ed Moore III. You're listening to 91.9 FM WLJS Jacksonville.
I'm not wildin' out like I used to. I don't do the things I used to no more. I changed for you. Looking back, I thought I would never love like this. Broke so many hearts before. Hey, 'cause I changed for you. I don't do the things that I used to do no more. Everything that you do, I adore. No more lies, no more games. Everything I say, I mean, hey. And all the love you give me, baby, it means so much to me. So don't take your love away. No one compares to what you do for me. And every time you see me, baby, you take me in your arms. Oh man, trust me, baby, I won't ever leave you. Believe me, I'm yours forever. You need me, 'cause I'm down for whatever. Am I changed? Falling out like I used to. I don't do the things I used to no more. I changed for you. Looking back, I thought I would never love like this. Broke so many hearts before. I changed for you.
Pull out the fine wine glasses, dinner in bed. Went and took some culinary classes. Gotta stay sexy for you, baby. Tighten up my body, working on my ghetto Pilates. I'm not going out tonight. We can hit the sofa, cuddle up, satellite surf. Oh, baby, whatever, let me accommodate you. Is there anything you like for me to change?
I can cut my plaits, but I can't cover up my tats.
Oh, no.
I did some things that I can't take back.
But baby, it's true, I will change it all for you.
Believe
You gotta believe me, baby.
I'm yours forever.
Completely in love.
I'll go whatever.
Baby, I can change.
Falling out like I used to. I don't do the things
No,
I used to no more.
no more.
Changed for you.
Looking back, I thought I would never.
Love like this broke
So many hearts before. Oh, yeah. New and improved, bringing out the best of me. Because the old me was lonely, searching for my one and only. So happy that I found you.
Saw the potential, and you made it so simple to be in love. Never be the same. Baby,
Everything for you I change. Yeah.
No more. I changed for you. Looking back, I
Thought I would never.
like this. So many
So many hearts, so many hearts.
changed for you.
I'm not wilding out like I used to. No more. I changed.
Thirty-eight minutes past the hour here on 91.9 FM WLJS Jacksonville. You're listening to Late Night with Ed Moore III. Topic for the night is racism and why should we be conscious of it. I'm here today with Mr. Pacheco, who is
Sir, right, Ed.
who is a professor of Spanish here at Jacksonville State University. We just got through talking about the Alabama immigration law and its effects on the entire state of Alabama as a whole. And now what we want to get into is misconceptions in people's ethnicity. And this was very interesting for me, just because all my life I've always wondered, okay, what is the difference between a Hispanic and a Mexican? What is the difference between Latino and Hispanic? And what is Latin America? What is Hispaniola? What is all of that? Because I remember I saw I was in middle school, and I saw one of the Spanish-speaking kids at school had a shirt on, and on the back of his shirt it said Mexican, not Hispanic. And I always wondered, okay, what's the difference? So Mr. Pacheco is going to explain us, and hopefully a lot of people out there will be educated on this, because it is something that is within the Spanish-speaking community. It's something that's very, very important. This identity is very important. So first question, Mr. P, what is the difference between Hispanic and Latino?
Well, I think that if I go into my opinion and my research and my what do I think? Well, I'm Colombian, and outside the United States, I'm Colombian. I never knew the term Hispanic while I was growing up in Colombia. Nobody addressed each other as Hispanic. And well, I moved to the United States, and then I started seeing, when I started filling forms, race, something that is never found in any application, any papers that you fill for employment or university or anything. The term Hispanic, and so I was so puzzled, like, why is, what's Pacific Islander, what's Caucasian, black, and white, non-Hispanic, even that, and then there is other, of course, and I just I had to ask the secretary why that was filling my application for my scholarship here when I came first for my master's and then my PhD, and I said, why do we have all these things here? Well, when I did my PhD, of course, I already gone through all that process, and of course my research and experience living here. But my first encounter was interesting, and I had to write other, and that is because in Colombia my mother is considered, according to the color shade, white. If we put a color shade, and my father is black, according to the shades of skin. Yeah, the skin we have here, and the color, and then of course I have 3 sisters and a brother, and we all look different. Our skin, our hair, our color, everything. So we never think about that way, the race on a paper. And then but I understand here there's got to be some term and group, because otherwise will be everybody. One person will be from Argentina, and all the other countries from Venezuela and Mexico, and all the many countries that form the Latin American continent. So and that's why here we put all together in this umbrella of Hispanic. Well, now we have also Latino, which you ask, what's a Latino, what's a Hispanic? For me personally, I do not see. Depends on where your background is. If you ask a Mexican that is born here, they would learn that they call themselves Hispanics in this country. But the parents, they would say, well, what's your ethnicity? And they would say Mexican. So it depends if you're born here and then you're raised into this culture of being called Hispanic or Latino, then you associate that term with you. But if you're born in any of the countries that form the Latin America or even Spain, because many times the Spanish are put into the Caucasian, and that's what they're non-European or non-white or any of the other ideas of race. But Latino is, according to their own views, somebody from Latin America, which that then leaves out the Spanish. So it's very interesting how these two terms sometimes conflict with each other. Because Hispanic, you might say, well, because it comes from Hispania, which was originally the way that the Iberian Peninsula was called by the Romans, Hispania. So you would say, okay, well, they're Hispanics because they come from Hispania.
Hispania.
But then how about the other people, the other countries that make the Spanish-speaking world? So it is the umbrella that this country puts races, and that's of course we talked about already, and it's so different from each country. You might find in Argentina, you might find people who are mostly Italians. And they do not look the stereotypical Hispanic the way we have here: brown skin, their hair, their eyes, very. And then you ask about Mexican, Puerto Ricans. Yeah, if you're in Puerto Rico and you're Puerto Rican, if you move to the United States, a Puerto Rican would not like to be called Hispanic.
Yeah, you know what?
They say, well, they would tell you, I'm not Hispanic.
I'm not
Puerto
Hispanic.
Rican.
I'm Puerto Rican.
Yes.
And they make sure you get it right. And they don't like being called Mexican either.
No,
They
if
say,
you
"I'm
call a Cuban Mexican, are you Mexican because they hear him speaking
Spanish.
So even when they do not look the stereotypical dark skin, then they would not be happy to be called Mexican.
And that's another thing that I wanted to discuss with you, Mr. P. A lot of people think that just because you speak Spanish and you look like, quote unquote, is what we like to refer here in the United States, a Hispanic, that you are from Mexico, and that all Spanish-speaking people are from Mexico. I learned that very early, that there are Spanish-speaking people all over the world. They're not just from Mexico, as many people would like to think. There are many Spanish-speaking countries such as Costa Rica, Chile, Colombia, Honduras, El Salvador, Ecuador, Dominican Republic, Nicaragua, Paraguay, Puerto Rico, Spain, Uruguay, and Venezuela. All those places are Spanish-speaking countries. Did any of those places, did you hear me say Mexico? No.
Well, you even skip a few others: Peru, Bolivia.
See, I didn't even mention the rest of them.
Yeah, and then of course there are some countries in Africa who were colonized by Spanish.
Spanish speaking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because I have many years ago I was at one of the supermarkets in the area, and that was not here in Alabama. I was at the time living in Arkansas, and I was with one of my classmates. He is Colombian too, but he's a quote unquote white Colombian. Mm-hmm. So we both were in line at the register, and the cashier heard us speaking, and then she asked my friend, my classmate in front of me, like, where are you all from? And she said, I'm from Colombia. And then she looked at me and she said, oh, you both from Colombia? And yeah, we were both from Colombia. And said, oh, I thought you were Mexican. To me, because I was darker. And we both looked at each other like that was like kind of a culture shock for us, because we were new in the country, and we never experienced that in our country, in Colombia, that somebody had said, oh, you look Mexican but you look Colombian because you're lighter. So that was like, no, when we and that it took us like a minute to educate the lady, And I guess that's what you have to do to educate people that
And
they're
just say, look,
yes, it's not is their stereotype because I'm a darker, and that necessarily mean I'm Mexican or I'm the Hispanic per se that we have the idea that we have of being Hispanic is here. So it's